Okay, we wish everybody a meaningful fast. Please be aware, we're just going to say 2 halachot, and then after prayers, since this was a very late minyan, we're just going to do one of the kinot, about the 10 asurei harugei malchut. The Ish Matzliach brings a wonderful halachot here that's very important. Please don't forget, on Tisha B'Av, we don't tell each other shalom, right? Because we're not at peace. The heart of the Jewish nation is the Bet HaMikdash. And therefore, until we get our Bet HaMikdash back, it's like King David says, our left hand, our right hand is missing. So, Im Ishkachech Yerushalayim Ishkach Yamini. So, you should know, by the way, my father passed away like 20 months ago. Actually 23 months ago. It's going to be his yortzeit in a month, believe it or not. So all these laws that we do on Tisha B'Av is mimicking the laws of a mourner, right? So a mourner, a lot of people don't know this. They're not allowed to say shalom to him for a year. So he says, obviously the whole reason the temple was destroyed is because a lot of people, there was baseless hatred. So if a person was non-knowledgeable of this halacha, told you shalom, you're allowed to answer him shalom. Because especially a lot of people get offended, right? If they tell you shalom, you don't answer them shalom. So you're allowed to answer him shalom in a very cold way. Like not a nasty way, but afterwards you could explain to him, enlighten him that Tisha B'Av, we don't tell each other what? Shalom. Because shalom means peace, and this is not the day of peace. The next thing is that for the women, they should not start preparing the meal, right? For tonight, by the way, a lot of people ask me this question. Tonight, we're not allowed to have meat yet, right? Because the second Bet HaMikdash was mostly burnt on the 10th of Av. And Rabbi Yochanan in the Gemoreh, in Gittin, said if he was to institute the fast to commemorate the destruction of the second temple, which is more raw and hurtful to our hearts, because that was more recent in history, he would have made it the 10th of Av. So that's why, in order to accommodate Rabbi Yochanan's position that the second temple, just for information, was mostly burnt on the 10th. It was burnt, they started throwing the flame and burning the temple, started igniting it on the afternoon of Tisha B'Av. It's for this reason that even tonight, when we open our fast, we don't open it with meat. And even if you want to start preparing, the women want to start preparing for cooking the food, they should start preparing after Chatzot, midday, which is around 1 o'clock nowadays. By the way, after midday, you're also allowed to sit on regular seats. So Tisha B'Av has a lot of very interesting halachot. And
allowed to work, Rabbi, or
no, today's better not to go to work because it doesn't have blessing in it.
Okay. What about running errands? Run errands?
Yeah, so that brings me to the next halacha. The next halacha says on Tisha B'Av, the Rambam talks about this extensively. He says it's not right to go to a botanical garden today, right? And start roaming in the parks or we're just a mile or two off the ocean, right? Start taking a stroll, because the whole idea is that we're mourning. We're mourning for the heart of Judaism. The heart of Judaism is our Bet HaMikdash, right? Without the Sanhedrin, all the justice in the world is corrupt. The only true justice is the 71 judges. So there's a lot of problems. The world is upside down. Without Mashiach, we're in Hester Panim. God is hiding his face. For all these reasons, it's not a good idea today to go. It's not a vacation day. Even though you're fasting, you're missing the point. We should, the Chafetz Chaim Heritage Foundation, anybody that wants it, I can send you the link. I'll put it up on my Facebook page, and we'll put it up on the WhatsApp group. It's a day to do teshuvah, to see why is the temple not built. Because, by the way, I saw a beautiful, really heartfelt video from Rabbi David Yosef. He was crying when he was announcing that it's 1,952 years from the destruction. And the Talmud Yerushalmi says, every generation that the Bet HaMikdash is not built, they should understand like it was destroyed this year. You understand? Because obviously, what father doesn't want his kids to be at his table? Right? Every father wants his kids to be together with him. So every second, the fact that the Bet HaMikdash is not built yet No, Shlomo Leib, you're watching on Facebook. We cannot eat unless the doctor tells you, unless somebody has doctor's orders, they need some type of vitamin from red meat. You're not supposed to open your fast tonight with meat, only with fish or dairy, anything parv. And so therefore it's very important. The Rambam talks about not joking around. So if you're watching YouTube, you should watch my videos or Torah videos or go to Torah anytime. But it's not a good time to watch comedy today, right? It's not a day to make fun. It's a day, it's a serious. My Rosh Hashiva, Rav Weinberg, would say today's the most serious day. It's not a day for Mr. Bean. It's a day that we should, look inside and do teshubah. And I'm so proud of everybody that everybody accepted 1 hour not to say Lashon Hara. This is what we need to do, right? Not playing games and doing comedy and watching video games or doing stuff like that. By the way, parenthetically, it's asur to learn Torah. So, for example, those people that learn Daf Yomi, they're not allowed to learn Torah on Tisha B'Av. And so what should you learn? Obviously, we said that the point of today is not to just go and take a stroll at the beach, right? Or in the park. So you should learn Echa and the Iyov, right? The most famous question that anybody that's a big thinker in life bothers them is why bad things happens to good people. Guess what? Our Tanakh wrote this book thousands of years ago. It's called Iyov, Job. That whole book is about the topic. I highly recommend. It's a shame I haven't seen so many lectures on Iyov, but the Ramban, Nachmanides is the most classical Pirush of the Torah has a thing, and that's one book that we should learn, because most people haven't learned it. I would say 99%, but it addresses one of the most important issues in life, is why bad things happen to good people. That's what the whole Sefer Iyov is. And then obviously you can learn the Gemara in Gittin, page 55 of Kamsa Bar Kamsa, and the laws of Tisha B'Av, and so on. And you can learn history. You can learn about the Nazis. Anything that's going to make you show that God's wrath. A lot of people have accustomed to visit the Holocaust museums. That's fine. You can learn the books of Musar, like Sha'arei Teshubah, or one of my students, Elijah, asked me, it's definitely appropriate to learn the books of the Rabbi Nachman about Emunah, because Emunah is the thing that's going to keep us alive. The next halacha that he brings over here is Nachon la'achmir shelo likro. It's better not to read Tehillim. Over the years, dozens upon dozens of people have asked me this question, is that it's better not to read Tehillim, but if you do not know how to read anything else, right? All the other things I told you, the Gemara and Iyov, and all the different things that we talked about, Echa, if you don't have but the only thing available to you is Tehillim, you could read Tehillim. It's 1 trillion times better than wasting your time. That's what I can tell you. It's 1 trillion times better and we hope that everybody has a meaningful fast. And it's a halacha a lot of people don't know. Be'ezat Hashem, I bless all of you that you should have grandchildren and great-grandchildren. It's better not to even pick up a child in your lap. Just have fun with him and giggle with him. Because it's the same law for an avel, somebody that's a mourner. Because these stuff make you heartwarming, and today is not a day to have fun, it's a day to be serious. And the Persian Jews have a minhag to visit the cemetery of the people, their loved ones that have passed away. We hope everybody has a wonderful and meaningful fast, and maybe this be the last fast before the coming of Mashiach. Amen.